I met a gypsy.
I started working for Villopoto before Punk stayed in Loretta Lynn's when he was an amateur.
Before, yep.
So I was with him his last two nationals.
So he never trained though, right?
He did train. They just don't really have
before
a direction.
Loretta's? Before he went pro?
A little bit. Like
Yeah, okay.
they did stuff. They just didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
Like when we first went to the gym and he did bench press, it was the bar.
Yeah, okay.
Like he got second at Glen Helen being able to bench press the bar, his first season.
That's so sick.
So, so I had him, started working with him and, kind of the deal was like, let's do Ponca, Loretta's, and the last three nationals. And then if we're good, if we have a good relationship and things are going the direction they need to, and we want to do something, we'll work together for 06. So then he's obviously 16 years old, young kid, 135 pounds, starts ripping. So we did a deal for 06. And then that's kind of when I started with Nick Wey also, who was a little bit older, more established, privateer at the time for MDK.
Yeah.
And he was just a wild man, dude. Like,
really?
He would do motos at Glen Helen and then stop at 4th Street and do more motos. And if we did a road ride that day, then when he got home, he was going for like a 8-mile run.
Really?
So with him, it wasn't getting him to do the work. It was putting a leash on him and getting him to do
the right work,
better work,
less
work at a higher level.
Yeah.
With Ryan, it was just like, will you just do the work? Like if we had to do a time trial on our road bikes and like I'm following and like timing from a point A to a loop back to that point, you do those with Villopoto, it's like freaking watching paint dry. I'm like, dude, are you going to pedal? I am pedaling. He was just the guy that like, I'm like, just put the effort in.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm doing it. My legs burn. I'm like, there's no way your legs burn right now.
Yeah.
And I'd be so frustrated, but then you do it with Nick and it was just like over the top, dude.
Yeah.
He would try to dye everything that he did.
Yeah.
I would do a century with friends on a road bike and he would just do it because he's like, I got to do it too. Like you can't let anybody get a leg up on you. That was Nick's mentality. So once we calmed him down and got him to, less work at 100% instead of all this work at 80%, that season he, 3 450 podiums and, he was making moves like, after 2 years MDK, he ended up with that KTM deal and obviously that wasn't the best because there was no linkage in a 3-speed 450. Yeah. So.
That's a strange motorcycle to have to ride.
It really was, man. But, they tried to ride it in Supercross. But yeah, and then it was like at that time, so when he got on KTM, that was 08. And then I started working with Weimer for the outdoors because Ryan was going to go to the 450s the next season. So I worked the summer with Jake, Ryan, and Nick, and Jake and Ryan were both on 250s. Jake was on the Geico team at the time, and he ended up switching over to Pro Circuit, and that's kind of why we knew it was going to kind of work together.
Yeah.
And freaking we'd go to Nuevo and 35-minute moto, Weimer beat Ryan by 30 seconds.
Really?
Like every week. And then you go to the race and Ryan won one and Jake 11-6 or something.
Is it just mental?
All mental.
Yeah.
And I'd say Jake was probably the one guy that I was able to work together with and get him to figure it out. Because when he won that title in 2010, he was gnarly. He was really, really good. But it started in 09. Like if you watch his 09, his first season on PC, he won 4 races, a couple little mistakes, kept him out of the title with Dungey. But he won 3 nationals and he ended up going to the Nations that year. And if you talk to Jake now, he'd be like, I never ever dreamed I would ever win an outdoor national.
So he just dealt with a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah. He was a jersey reader. Like they would get in his head.
Yeah, right.
And so we just really, really worked hard to get him to block out the noise.
Where do you reckon that came from?
I think I honestly think 99.9% of people just have that.
Yeah.
It's,
Fuck, you're actually so right.
But Ryan never had it.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He was like, Ryan got beat by Alessi his whole life, but it didn't faze him. Like, it didn't make him feel like less of a person.
Mm.
So if you look at Ryan's first season outdoor, 06, like, he knew how to lose.
Yeah,
Alessi never lost a race, dude. He did. When he lost a race, it was,
like
the
front
world
page
came apart.
news, yeah.
It was like, what do we even do?
Yeah.
I was face to face with Tony many times that season. Like, I thought he was going to punch me because Ryan beat his kid. I was like, there's no way he got that good that quick. Like,
really? Tony would say that.
You guys are cheating. I'm like, dude, like, we just do the work.
Yeah.
And Ryan knew how to lose. So if he didn't win a race, like, it wasn't the end of the world.
Deal, yeah.
We'd go back and just do the work.
Mm.
And, but he had an incentive because Ryan hated training. So I'm like, if you go 1-1, you'll get a training session off that week. So whatever schedule I set up, you could pick any one of those and be like, I'm not doing that.
That's sick.
And he took advantage of it.
Yeah. He got a lot of 1-1s.
He did get a lot of 1-1s, and he would make sure he took whatever time off he needed. But yeah, that was a really, really fun time.
Yeah.
Because all those guys were doing really, really well. At that time in the industry, the money was good.
Yeah.
It was right before the recession hit.
Yeah.
So, it was like us four every day. Because, when I was working with those guys, I basically made Ryan breakfast in the morning and made sure he had his vitamins and got to the track. And then, Nick was grown, so he could get there. And Jake was living on his own, so he could get there.
Yeah.
And then we'd just be together. Like, we'd go from the track to the gym or to my house to road ride.
Yeah.
We flew together. We had dinners together at the races. Like, it was a tight group. And they got along well. And if you look at the dynamic between Nick and Ryan, like, Nick was this established vet that, not vet like 30, but had some years under his belt and was just a workhorse.
Mm.
And Ryan was this young kid that was talking trash all the time. We were going to put TMZ on his pants at one point because it was just everything he did. Just that's what he did.
Yeah.
And he would just instigate everything. He'd blow all the berms out. He didn't care. And so they kind of worked together. It was yin and yang, like 100%. But they became like best friends.
Yeah.
Where like in a normal world, they would have hated each other, because like it was crazy. But the way they worked together, like, because Ryan would come off the track from the lights and go to the line and talk to Nick on the line.
Yeah.
And we'd be at the track and Nick would talk to Ryan about, try it this way or do this or whatever. So it was a lot of fun.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, GYPSYTales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.